Archangel Michael says, "This will happen in 1 hour, someone will give you a surprise in your life." God says, "Don't take this as a joke, if you skip it, you will cry." Open before the next 5 seconds. If your heart believes even a little, if your soul longs for peace, and if you're ready to receive a shift in your life, then stay here just a little longer. Let the noise of the world fade for a moment and listen closely, for this isn't just a message, it's an invitation from heaven to draw near to the heart of God. He knows your story, your pain, your waiting, your quiet tears at night, and every hidden hope that you've dared not speak aloud. This is your moment. Type Amen if you believe that God still moves mountains for His children. Heaven doesn't shout. It whispers softly. The Lord doesn't rush. He walks beside you, slowly and patiently, waiting for your heart to open just a little more. This hour isn't ordinary. Something is aligning. There's a door about to open, and what waits behind it is not something earned, it is something gifted, freely and lovingly, by the Father who has never forgotten you. There have been so many days you've held it together when you could have fallen apart. Nights when your prayers felt unanswered, and you wondered if He still saw you. But He did. He saw every single moment. You were never hidden from His sight. The silence was not rejection, it was preparation. Every delay you experienced, every plan that didn't work out, wasn't to hurt you, but to protect you, shape you, and guide you gently towards something better than you could imagine. Your breakthrough doesn't need noise. It will come quietly, beautifully, like morning light slipping through the curtains after a long night. The Lord knows exactly how to reach you, and when the moment comes, it will feel so personal, so detailed, so crafted just for you, that your soul will recognize it instantly. It was Him. It was always Him. The job you thought you missed out on, the friend who left, the unexpected changes, they all led you to the exact place you are now. And where you are now is not forgotten, not abandoned, but on the very edge of something divine. Type 1111 if you trust in God's timing even when you don't understand it. There is a sweetness in waiting when it's done in faith. It softens the heart. It teaches patience, endurance, and trust. It strengthens what was once fragile. You've become stronger than you think, even if you don't feel it. That strength, though quiet, is mighty. And God has seen how you carried burdens without bitterness, how you forgave when it was hard, how you chose love when anger would have been easier. Those things matter. They reach heaven. And heaven responds. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. The Lord is preparing to surprise you, not just with material blessings, though He can do that too, but with peace you haven't felt in years, with answers that settle the restlessness in your heart, with clarity where confusion used to reign. He is the God who parts seas, who multiplies what's little, who calls the unseen into being. You don't need to figure it all out. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up, keep trusting, keep placing your hope in the one who has never failed. There is someone coming into your life, perhaps a person you already know, or someone completely new, who will carry a message, a moment, or an opportunity that shifts the very direction you're heading. It will feel small at first, maybe even ordinary. But something in your heart will stir, and you'll know, this is the surprise God spoke about. This is the start of something that only He could orchestrate. And when it happens, you won't feel anxious. You'll feel peace, a deep and quiet peace that wraps around your soul like a blanket. It will confirm what you've been praying for, even when your prayers had no words. It will remind you that you are deeply loved, guided, and held by a God who moves heaven and earth to reach you. This is not a joke. It is sacred, holy, timely. God does not tease His children with empty promises. When He says He is bringing a blessing, He means it. And it's not based on how good you've been or how hard you've tried. It's based on how deeply He loves you. Let your heart rest. You don't have to be afraid anymore. Whatever has been weighing on your chest, the thoughts that keep circling in your mind, the heaviness that won't let go, it's being lifted, not by force, but by love. And that love is stronger than anything trying to break you. This moment is not just about receiving a surprise, it's about being reminded that you were never forgotten in the first place. You were always seen, always treasured, and always held, even when everything around you told you otherwise. The Lord is not done writing your story. In fact, He's just turning the page. Type 222 if you believe God is preparing something beautiful for you. It's easy to grow tired when the waiting feels endless. It's easy to let doubt creep in when the world seems to keep spinning, but your heart feels stuck. But the Lord does not forget the faithful. He does not overlook the one who continues to love even when it's hard, who continues to give when they feel empty, who keeps holding on when it would be easier to let go. You are not forgotten. Heaven knows your name, your face, your needs, your hopes. And even when your voice trembles, your prayers still rise. Sometimes, the breakthrough we wait for doesn't come through thunder or lightning, it comes through a whisper, through the stillness, through a small moment that changes everything. The person you'll meet, the phone call you'll receive, the open door you weren't expecting, it's all being orchestrated by a God who sees beyond time, beyond fear, beyond circumstance. You are being led step by step, moment by moment, into a new chapter of light, healing, and goodness. You've cried behind closed doors. You've smiled through storms. You've kept walking even when your strength felt too weak to take another step. And still, you held on. That is seen. That is sacred. There's a reward for those who endure, not just in eternity, but even here on earth. The reward may not always look like what you imagined, but it will always come with peace, and that peace will heal the parts of you that even you forgot were hurting. There is a softness in God's love that human hands could never mimic. It's in the way He protects you from things you didn't know were dangerous. It's in the way He slows your path to save you from walking into something too soon. It's in the way He fills your spirit when you thought you were completely dry. That love, so full and faithful, is already surrounding you now. The next hour of your life may not look any different at first glance, but something will begin to shift. A weight may lift. A message may arrive. A thought may enter your heart that brings sudden clarity. And even if none of that is visible yet, the movement has already started in the heavenly places. The blessing is not delayed. It is simply being placed in the exact moment where it will mean the most. And that moment is drawing near. Type 555 if your heart believes that God's promises never return empty. You don't need to chase miracles, they follow those who believe. You don't need to prove your worth, your existence is already enough. You were formed with purpose, chosen with care, and filled with the breath of the Almighty. There is a reason you're reading this now. Not by accident. Not by coincidence. God wanted you to hear this. To feel this. To let go of the heaviness you've been carrying and remember that you are not doing this alone. Buried deep in forgotten archives, a 9-word phrase once hidden from the public is now transforming ordinary lives. Neuroscientists call it a wealth frequency activator, because it awakens a part of the brain that naturally draws prosperity. It takes just seconds to speak, but the change can last a lifetime. People are waking up debt-free and financially secure. The page could vanish at any moment. Click the link before it's gone for good. The surprise you are about to receive is not just a gift, it is a reminder that God is not distant. He is not silent. He is not ignoring you. He is here, now, always, working in ways that eyes cannot see but hearts can sense. Sometimes, the most beautiful miracles are not loud, they're quiet confirmations that you're seen, known, and loved beyond measure. Don't be discouraged by what you haven't seen yet. You've come this far not by accident, but by grace. And that grace is still unfolding new pages in your story. The pain you've endured is becoming purpose. The silence you've walked through is becoming a canvas for something breathtaking. What feels like the end is often the beginning, and God is the author who never leaves a story unfinished. Hold your head high, not in pride, but in trust. Trust that something better is on the way. Trust that your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't walked into yet. Trust that the right doors are opening, the wrong ones are closing, and the path you're walking is not aimless, it's anointed. There is something beautiful coming, not because you forced it, but because God never forgets His promises. Let your heart breathe. Let hope live again. Let yourself believe in beauty, in miracles, in second chances. Let yourself rest in the knowing that you are never alone in this journey. The same God who split seas and raised the sun each morning is the God who knows exactly how to surprise you with joy. It will not be what you expect. It will be better. Because it will come from the one who knows what your soul needs, not just what your hands want. The waiting was never wasted. The tears were never ignored. The prayers were never in vain. They have all been gathered, held close, and answered in ways that will make your spirit sing. You have walked through long seasons that have stretched your emotions, challenged your faith, and tested your endurance in ways you never expected, yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still holding on to the hope that something greater must be waiting for you beyond the struggles you have faced, and that hope is not foolish, nor fragile, because it was planted in you by heaven itself. God has watched every step you've taken, even the trembling ones, and He has counted every tear that slipped down your face when no one else noticed, and He has gathered those tears gently because they were never signs of weakness, but signs of a heart that continued to believe even when everything felt uncertain. Type 777 if your heart trusts that God is preparing a blessing for you. There is a kindness in God's timing that doesn't always feel kind in the moment, but it becomes clear when you look back and realize how many storms He carried you through, how many unseen dangers He shielded you from, and how many silent battles He fought on your behalf long before you even knew that something was trying to break you. And this next surprise that is coming toward you is woven with that same kindness, that same protection, that same deep love that has followed you every day of your life, even when you felt lost or forgotten. You are stepping into a moment where heaven is aligning something that will speak directly to a part of you that has been waiting for so long, a part that has grown tired but not given up, a part that has been whispering prayers even when your voice felt too weak to speak them out loud, and those whispered prayers have reached God's heart more clearly than you think. You may have wondered why certain people drifted away, why certain paths closed, or why certain dreams seemed to fade right when they felt closest, but you were not being denied or punished, you were being repositioned, redirected, and protected, because God never removes anything from your life unless He is preparing to replace it with something far more meaningful, far more stable, and far more aligned with who you truly are. You may not know it yet, but a new chapter is waiting for you, one that holds more peace than the storms you've walked through, more joy than the losses you endured, and more clarity than the confusion that clouded your thoughts for so long. And this chapter is not something you need to chase or force, because it is arriving on its own, carried by the grace that has followed you since the day you were created. You are being moved into a space where your heart can finally breathe again, where your worries loosen their grip, and where your spirit feels held instead of burdened, because God knows you have carried enough weight, and He is ready to place something new, gentle, and healing in your hands. This blessing will not only surprise you, it will also restore you. It will remind you that God never abandoned you, not for a moment, even when life felt heavy and silent and overwhelming. Every difficult season you walked through strengthened something inside you, even if you didn't realize it at the time, because every moment of waiting softened your heart, every season of confusion sharpened your discernment, every delay built depth in your spirit, and every disappointment taught you how to rely on God more deeply than ever before, and all of this has prepared you for what is coming. You are not stepping into this blessing empty-handed, you are stepping into it wiser, stronger, more compassionate, and more open to God's voice than you have ever been, and that makes you ready, not just for the surprise itself, but for the growth, peace, and renewed purpose that will come with it. There is someone who will enter your life or re-enter your life with a purpose you may not see right away, but you will feel something in your spirit when this moment arrives, a quiet confirmation that this is not random or accidental, and that God's hand is guiding the entire connection. It may be a conversation, a message, an opportunity, or a gentle act of kindness that shifts something deep within you, and when it happens, you will sense a warmth that settles in your heart like a soft light pushing away the shadows that have lingered for too long. Type 333 if you trust that God's hand is guiding your next chapter. Your life is not behind schedule. You are not forgotten or overlooked. You are in a season where God is tying together loose ends, healing old wounds, and preparing you to receive something that is not temporary, not fragile, and not uncertain. It will be steady. It will be peaceful. It will be filled with the kind of quiet joy that doesn't fade after a day or a week, but grows deeper each time you breathe in the truth that God has always been faithful. You are not stepping into this blessing alone. Heaven is walking with you, surrounding you, strengthening you, and whispering calm into the places where fear once lived. You are entering a time where the heaviness that sat on your chest begins to lift, where your mind grows clearer, and where your heart begins to trust again, not because life is suddenly perfect, but because you can finally feel God's presence in ways that feel real and close and comforting. Not one tear you've cried went unseen, and not one hope you held quietly in your chest was ever overlooked by the one who formed you. Every moment you endured, every time you chose to rise again when your strength felt gone, has been carried in the heart of God like a song of courage. You were never weak, you were always being refined. You were never lost, you were being led. Type 111 if you feel that your season of blessing is near. There's a reason you're still here. There's a reason your story hasn't ended. And that reason has everything to do with the plans God still has for you. You are not forgotten in the shadows of other people's miracles. Yours is on the way. It may not come with fireworks or fanfare, but when it comes, it will bring a peace so deep and clear that it will silence every doubt that once screamed so loudly inside you. You've walked long roads that felt dry and lonely, but those roads were leading you somewhere. They weren't punishment, they were preparation. God never leads you into emptiness, He leads you through emptiness to fullness. A mysterious 9-word prayer once sealed inside a private government vault is now resurfacing, and people everywhere are seeing financial breakthroughs overnight. Experts say it triggers a long silent part of the human brain responsible for abundance and wealth attraction. It takes less than 30 seconds to repeat, yet it's turning struggle into prosperity. Thousands are reporting cleared loans, sudden cash inflows, and unexpected blessings. Click the link in the description and comments before this secret disappears again. And now, here you are, still standing, still hoping, still believing even if you don't always say it out loud. That belief, though quiet, is strong. It's been the thread that held you together through the confusion, the losses, and the long waits. And it's that same thread God is using now to weave something new for your life. He doesn't just mend broken places, He makes them beautiful again. He doesn't just restore what was taken, He replaces it with something better than you ever imagined. This surprise you're about to receive is not just a gift, it's a sign that heaven hasn't forgotten the promises spoken over your life, even when you've struggled to believe in them yourself. There will be a moment, maybe very soon, where you feel something shift, not outside of you, but within you. A sudden calm, a stillness, a breath of peace that feels like someone is holding you without touching you. That's the Holy Spirit. That's God's way of letting you know, I'm still here. I'm still working. I've never stopped. And in that moment, you won't need explanations. You'll just know that something good is coming. Not because you forced it or figured it out, but because you finally let yourself trust again. Trust doesn't always come easy when life has taught you to be cautious. When you've been let down, overlooked, or misunderstood, your heart builds walls to protect itself. But God isn't coming to break your walls, He's coming to gently walk around them, to sit with you in the spaces you thought were too wounded to be touched. His presence doesn't demand perfection. It brings healing simply by staying close. And as you begin to feel that nearness again, your heart will start to soften. The hard edges formed by pain will begin to fade, and you'll find yourself believing not just in a miracle, but in the God who brings it. There's a deep quietness in the way God moves sometimes. Not everything He does is loud or visible right away. But every move He makes carries purpose. If something is leaving your life, it's because it no longer fits where God is taking you. If something is arriving, it's because it has been prepared for you with a love that sees all of you, not just your strengths, but your scars too. You are not hard to love for God. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are exactly the person He's been waiting to bless, not because of what you've done, but because of who He is. Type 444 if you're ready to receive what God has already prepared for your heart. Even in moments where you feel uncertain, heaven is not confused. Even when your plans fall apart, God's purpose still stands. Even when nothing makes sense, His love is still the anchor that holds your soul steady. And this next hour, this next step, this next encounter, is carrying something sacred. It may come through a message, a person, a change of heart, or a shift in direction. Whatever form it takes, it will bring light to the parts of you that have lived too long in shadow. You don't have to have it all together to be worthy of what's coming. You just have to keep saying yes to the journey. Keep trusting. Keep listening. Keep opening your heart just a little more each day. God isn't asking for perfection. He's asking for your presence. Your surrender. Your willingness to let go of fear so that He can fill the empty spaces with faith. What's coming may not be what you expected, but it will be exactly what you need. It will align with the desires that sit deep in your soul, the ones you can't explain, the ones you barely whisper to God. It will come wrapped in love, in grace, in mercy that reminds you how seen you truly are. And when it arrives, you'll look back and realize that every delay, every detour, every difficult day was not wasted. It was building this moment. Type 666 if your soul is open to receive God's perfect plan for your life. There's something holy about the quiet hours, the moments when the world slows down and your heart begins to whisper what you've been too busy or too afraid to speak out loud. Maybe you've been walking through a season of silence, where God feels far away and everything around you seems uncertain. But silence isn't absence. Stillness isn't abandonment. God doesn't need to shout to move mountains. Sometimes, He moves most powerfully in the quiet, where your spirit can finally hear His gentle voice saying, "I have not forgotten you. Your tears were not in vain. Your waiting has not been wasted. Every moment that broke your heart is being redeemed in ways you haven't seen yet." You may have felt tired, unsure, even broken at times, but those cracks in your heart have allowed God's light to pour in. You don't need to fix yourself before He blesses you. You only need to remain open to the truth that He still works all things for good, even the things you didn't understand, even the pain you never expected. Something is coming. And when it does, it will not feel like a random event or a lucky moment. It will feel like restoration. It will feel like peace wrapping its arms around you after years of tension. It will feel like hope quietly returning to places that had gone numb. Because this isn't just about receiving something new, it's about being reminded that God is still writing your story, and He's writing it with a pen dipped in mercy and grace. You may not see the full picture yet, and that's okay. God isn't asking you to understand everything. He's only asking you to trust Him. Trust doesn't mean you'll never feel afraid again. It means choosing to believe that even when fear is present, it doesn't have the final say. Trust is what allows God's peace to grow even in the middle of chaos. It's what opens your hands to receive what's next, even if your past tried to convince you that good things aren't for you. But they are. And they're coming. There is a shift happening in your life, not because you earned it, but because you are loved that deeply. There is someone coming, or something about to happen, that will remind you of who you truly are, a beloved child of God, carried not by your strength but by His. You don't need to worry about how it will all come together. That's not your burden. God is already ahead of you, arranging every detail, preparing hearts, opening paths, and breaking down walls you didn't even know were blocking you. Type 1010 if your heart is ready to walk through the next open door God places in your path. The blessing that's coming won't just change your situation, it will change you. It will lift your eyes. It will soften your heart. It will draw you closer to the one who never let go of you, even when you were barely holding on. And as you step into this new chapter, you'll carry with you not just the joy of the gift, but the memory of the journey that brought you to it. You'll remember the nights you cried out in silence, the mornings you forced yourself to keep going, the prayers you whispered when no one else was listening. And you'll realize that God was listening the entire time. You see, God's love doesn't depend on your mood, your mistakes, or your performance. It's steady, unwavering, and completely free. You don't have to do anything grand to receive it. You don't have to prove anything. All you need to do is accept that you are already loved beyond comprehension. And from that love, every miracle flows. This next hour may pass quietly. But something is already on the move. A breakthrough is approaching, and it's closer than you think. Don't measure God's promises by what you see. Measure them by what He's already done, how He's kept you, how He's led you, how He's lifted you from places you never thought you'd survive. He's never failed you, and He won't start now. Let your heart breathe again. Let the tension ease from your shoulders. Let the fear fall from your mind like leaves from a tree in autumn, slowly, naturally, gently. What God is about to bring into your life won't feel like pressure or confusion. It will feel like clarity. It will feel like home. It will be full of peace, because real blessings don't add stress, they bring calm. What God is preparing for you is not just a small blessing, not just a kind gesture, but a life-altering surprise wrapped in love, sent directly to heal what's been wounded and to restore what's been weary. You've endured much. You've given even when you had little to give. You've kept hope alive through winds that tried to blow it out, and now heaven is ready to answer you in ways you never expected. Type 1212 if you walk by faith and not by sight, even when the road feels unclear. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, This discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. There is such power in staying faithful when everything inside you wants to give up. That silent persistence you've shown, the resilience in your heart, the grace you've extended to others even when you needed it yourself, God has seen every act of love, every small decision to trust, and every moment you chose to believe instead of break. Those things are not lost in the crowd of life. They stand out in the eyes of heaven. They have made room for something sacred to enter your life. You didn't have to shout to be seen. You didn't have to force your way forward. Your quiet strength has already made a way where there was no way. God's surprise for you is not loud, not dramatic in the eyes of the world, but in your heart, it will feel like a sunrise after a long night. You may have started to believe that certain prayers would never be answered, that maybe God had a different plan and that it was time to let go. But what if the delay wasn't denial? What if the waiting was actually grace? What if the pause was God making sure that when the blessing arrived, you'd be ready to carry it, not just receive it? You are not the same person who started this journey. The waiting has changed you. It has deepened your compassion. It has strengthened your soul. It has taught you how to recognize what is real and what is fleeting. And that growth, that beautiful, painful, sacred growth, has made room for something even greater to come in. The person you're becoming is aligned with the future God has always seen for you, a future full of purpose, full of peace, and full of divine connections that will carry you further than your strength alone ever could. Someone is about to bring something into your life, a word, a message, a gesture, that will shift something inside of you. It may look simple at first. It may even feel like a normal conversation or a quiet moment. But something deep will stir within you. You'll feel seen. You'll feel safe. You'll feel like God has reached through time just to remind you that you were never forgotten. And that's because He has. You've carried so much alone. You've fought through confusion, rejection, and uncertainty, and yet here you are, still soft enough to hope, still brave enough to believe. That is no small thing. That is a miracle in itself. And because you didn't give up, because you continued walking even when the road felt endless, heaven is sending a response. Type 888 if you believe God is already working behind the scenes on your behalf. This is not just about receiving a gift. It's about receiving confirmation. It's about being reminded that your life is known and loved in ways deeper than you can comprehend. You were created with divine intention, and everything about you has meaning. Your presence here matters. Your prayers matter. Your healing matters. And because of that, what God is about to do in your life will not only lift your spirit, it will renew your vision. You will see clearly again. You will dream freely again. You will feel joy not as a fleeting moment, but as a steady companion. That is what's being prepared for you now. And no, it's not too late. You haven't missed it. You didn't ruin anything. God doesn't build on shame. He builds on grace. There is no need to chase what is already destined for you. The right opportunities, the right people, the right healing will all come not through struggle, but through surrender. Let go of trying to understand everything, and lean into the one who already understands it all. Let peace take the place of pressure. Let hope rise again, not in fear of being disappointed, but in confidence that God's timing is never wrong. And when the surprise comes, and it will, you'll feel the peace before the details. You'll sense the love before the explanation. You'll know it's from God because it will meet you in the exact place your heart has been needing to be held. It will not ask you to prove anything. It will simply say, "This is for you. You are ready now." Though the world may seem fast and loud, the work God is doing within you is slow, sacred, and strong. He is preparing something that will not only answer your prayers, but will also make you feel known in a way you haven't felt in a long time. This is the hour when things begin to shift, not because of chance, but because your faith has reached heaven and touched the heart of God. Type 999 if you know something is quietly changing in your favor. So often, people carry silent burdens, hidden fears, and quiet disappointments tucked deep inside. You've done this too, haven't you? You've smiled through pain, encouraged others while carrying your own questions, and walked with grace through seasons that stretched your soul. And yet, here you are, still tender, still kind, still believing even when it's hard. That is strength. That is beauty. That is the kind of heart that heaven draws close to. What's coming into your life now is not just relief from the weight you've been carrying, it's a fresh wind of hope that will sweep through your spirit like a warm breeze through an open window. You might not even realize how heavy the burden has become until you feel it lift, and when it does, your soul will breathe again. This is God's way. He doesn't always remove the mountain, but He gives you the strength to climb it, and when the time is right, He moves it all together. The next person God sends into your life may not arrive with fanfare or clear signs. They may not come speaking grand words or performing big gestures. But they will carry peace. Their presence will feel like a reminder that God is still writing your story and that love, in its truest form, is still possible. They may bring news. They may bring clarity. They may bring comfort. But they will not come empty-handed, because they have been sent at just the right time with something heaven wants you to receive. This isn't about coincidence. It's about timing. Divine timing. And divine timing always looks different than what we expect. Sometimes it feels late. Sometimes it feels silent. But when it arrives, it makes everything worth the wait. What God is planning for you is not delayed. It's being carefully prepared. It's being protected until it can be released in a way that blesses you fully and deeply, without adding confusion or chaos. When it comes, it will come with clarity, with peace, and with a quiet knowing that says, "This is from God." You've been in a season of waiting, and that waiting has not been wasted. It has grown you. It has taught you how to listen for the quiet voice of God rather than the loud voices of fear and doubt. It has shown you how to trust without all the answers, how to move forward even when the path was hidden, and how to believe that something good is coming even when all you could see was loss. That is faith. That is endurance. That is the kind of heart God treasures. And now, the time is near. Type 1414 if you believe your breakthrough is closer than it's ever been. You will wake up one day and things will be different. You won't be able to explain it, but peace will settle on you like morning light. A phone call, a message, an encounter, something simple will shift everything. And it won't feel forced. It will feel right. Like all the pieces you've been holding for so long finally finding their place. Like your heart remembering how to feel safe again. This surprise, this blessing, is not just something to lift your spirits for a moment, it's something to renew your life. It may not fix every problem or erase every wound, but it will remind you that God is with you, walking beside you, holding your hand when the path feels narrow. You will begin to see that you were never alone, not even for a second. Every quiet tear, every desperate prayer, every step you took in faith has been leading to this. And this blessing, it isn't temporary. It's lasting. It's steady. It will grow with you and walk with you and teach you that you can trust again. Because God doesn't just give gifts. He gives healing. He doesn't just offer answers. He offers presence. He is not only the one who opens doors but also the one who walks through them with you. You may look around and still see some things unsettled. That's okay. The blessing is not limited by what you see. It's being planted deeper than your circumstances. It's growing roots in your soul. And soon, it will begin to bloom, not just in one area, but in many. Peace in your heart. Restoration in your relationships. Provision in your needs. Strength in your spirit. This is the fullness of what God is bringing. Don't mistake stillness for stagnation. In the unseen, heaven is moving. A divine surprise is being prepared, not rushed, not delayed, but placed carefully into the timeline of your life, right where your heart will need it most. It won't be a reward for your perfection. It will be a gift flowing from God's heart to yours, simply because He loves you that much. And when it arrives, you'll recognize it, not just by the way it looks, but by the way it feels. Type 1515 if you believe God is already working in the background of your life. There are blessings we pray for, and then there are blessings we didn't even know we needed. Those are the ones God sends to remind us that His goodness is bigger than our imagination.